So we are tracking today from when?
Just today, yesterday.
Yep, yesterday, the last time we tracked. All right, Marcus, how'd it go? Conversations since yesterday's class.
Very good. On the phone just now, I had 2 conversations in person. Does it count if you're talking to another realtor?
No,
Okay.
because they're not a potential buyer unless they live somewhere else.
Okay, I just went and looked at some listings.
Okay.
So, say 8.
Eight conversations. Okay. So I just want to say, Marcus, I just think I heard the greatest script ever come out of your mouth.
Really?
Can I get your address? I want to send you something great.
Yeah.
I was like, that's brilliance right there. I was like, did he really just say, I need to say that? Who's going to be like, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
I can't give you my ad. No. You're like, yeah, what am I going to get? How cool is that? And then I was like, with the card, I'm thinking, she put like a really awesome sticker in there or something,
Actually,
right?
I
Yeah,
just
I'm
made
like,
one. I got
there you
on my
go.
radio show.
I love it. Perfect.
Thank
So,
you.
well done. I love, that's a great line. Steal it, everybody. Steal. Steal. That's a good one. All right. Appointments held.
No appointments.
Okay, no worries. Referrals?
No referrals.
Okay, that's all right. We just keep doing our business, yeah? Show up every day, do it every day. Malia, how'd it go?
Since yesterday, I
Yes.
had 3 conversations,
Okay.
and then 3 I left voicemails and
Okay.
followed up with a text message.
Okay, cool. Any appointments held? Any referrals?
Yeah.
Bob, how'd it go?
I just remembered one. 3 conversations,
Okay,
1 appointment,
okay.
and 1 referral.
How'd your appointment go?
I haven't had it yet.
Okay.
It's scheduled.
Scheduled?
Yes, scheduled.
Perfect. When's it scheduled for?
Next week,
Nice.
next Tuesday afternoon.
Buyer or listing?
Listing
Very good.
out in Waikaku.
Cool. When you get that, can you bring it to all your Ignite friends first? So in case they have a buyer? We can do a deal in Ignite.
We always did that. I mean, when I was with Coldwell Banker, we always did the Coldwell Banker. You always let everybody in the brokerage know about it
Yes.
before it went on the MLS.
Yeah. It's awesome. So
Kind of like you let your own have the first shot at it.
Yeah. It's awesome. And I mean, we've got most agents, right?
And that was a policy. So I mean, it's kind of like I'm used to that. So it's interesting when people don't do that. It's kind of like don't we all have the same uniform on?
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, love that. I would definitely say do it. Hunter, how'd it go?
Not the best, but since yesterday I had 2 conversations,
Okay.
and
That includes today, right?
yeah,
Okay.
2 today, 2 yesterday. And I sent 2 texts.
Okay. Any
No,
replies on the texts?
I had some, replies, but no,
Okay.
nothing substantial.
And any appointments? Referrals? Okay.
But one of them was a Keller Williams realtor in Oceanside.
Oh, yeah?
So just I was kind of letting him know he's north.
Who was it?
Teddy Q.
Okay, don't know him. Okay. I've been to that office before.
But yeah, so he, I was just letting him know he's my friend, so just communication.
Perfect, absolutely. Yeah, let me be your resource.
Yeah.
Jalen, how'd it go?
I had 2 conversations and about 4 text messages
Okay.
with response. 1 appointment.
Okay, so talk to me about the text messages.
So, yeah,
Which
so-
ones would count as conversations?
4.
They all 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so then 6
6.
total?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 1 appointment for next week.
Okay, perfect.
And no referrals.
All right, we're doing it. Making things happen. Cherish, what happened?
5 conversations,
Cool.
1 appointment.
Held or having?
Having.
Okay, when's it for?
What day? I think in a couple weeks.
Okay, buyer or seller?
Buyer.
Are they ready?
Hopefully. She's a business owner, so I think she has to get her tax stuff
Got it.
situated, and then we can see.
Okay. Is the appointment set?
Yeah.
Okay. Question, reason it's set that far out?
Vacation.
Got it. Her vacation?
Her vacation.
Okay, cool. Long as for the client. Yes.
Is there a max you think that you should have an appointment set for?
That's far.
That's, okay.
I mean, And that's why I like having Sarah here. You notice there was no screwing around.
Mhm.
Like, you're can you do this by here, and then I'll meet with you Tuesday. Like, I guarantee you when she's setting up the appointment, it's how quickly can you come in.
She was very
Right.
gently like controlling the conversation too.
Yeah.
Like I wrote down, she said, I'd also like you to see this property. Not like. would
She
you
didn't
like-"
ask me.
Yeah.
She actually didn't actually ask me if I wanted to see any of those properties. I was wondering if you guys were noticing that. I'm telling you, I'd keep everything, but pay attention to this part. Yeah, she didn't ask me about any of those properties. She controlled it. But I felt like she knew better than I did. And notice, I saw these. She never said, I haven't seen these. She said, I saw this, I saw this. In my mind, she was a flippin' expert. Like, of course you're gonna pick which ones I'm gonna go check out. I don't know anything,
Yeah.
right?
That's kind of the problem I'm running into, and I had this conversation with Tony, is that I have 4 first-time home buyers that I'm working with, but it's like getting them to get going, you know,
Right.
and so when she was talking to you, it was like she lined it all up already, gave you the timeline, and it was like, you were like, okay, I'll get it done, you know? So I feel like that's how my conversations have to flip after hearing her.
First of all, what I like about what Sarah does is she takes it, she's really professional, but notice, there's nothing she said that was like, where you'd be like, it's not difficult, there's nothing difficult about what she did. It was not difficult on any level. And yet, being the buyer, you're kind of like, I better have my act together, because she's got her act
Yeah.
together, and and she even slipped in how quickly they're going, like she had that in there. Like, there were a lot of little nuggets of like, oh dang, I can't mess around, and she's got my back, and she's gonna take good care of me, and she knows the market, and like, all those subtle things, they work.
She created urgency with the market of only
100%.
being 7 listings for what you're looking for.
Yeah, and she showed me that.
Yeah.
All those little things, they make a difference, right? So, yeah, absolutely. So I would say the quicker the better. Like for you, Shaylin, the first-time home buyers, have you sent them all to the lender yet?
Yeah, but it's
Excellent.
then going to fill out that pre-approval application.
And is it online?
It is online.
Okay.
It's on an app, actually, an
Right.
exciting app.
Who's the lender?
I'm working with Castle Cook.
Okay, is that here?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it can also be, hey, so Monday, I'm gonna meet you at 10 o'clock at the lender, bring all your paperwork.
Got it. Yeah, Karen, I'm working with Karen, they told me that, bring them at any time. But it's like, I think first-time home buyers kind of have the fear of the unknown. So they're
Right.
a little more timid, so I'm like trying to use my words and make them feel as comfortable as possible because it's a big deal,
Yes.
you know?
And the biggest fear for usually a first-time home buyer is the lender.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're gonna know that I'm the worst person in the world with my finances. Like, once you start digging, you're like, everybody's screwed up. Like, we're all screwed up. Trust me, there's stuff going on in everybody's finances. But the assumption is this is the first person that's gonna dig that deep into my finances, they're gonna find out my skeletons.
Yeah.
So they're terrified of those, and they don't realize, like, you ain't got skeletons, I'll show you skeletons, right? Like, but that's what everyone thinks. So a lot of times it's, I will meet you there. Especially if you have a relationship with them. I'm gonna meet you there, I wanna introduce you to this person.
One's my little brother, and I'm like, come on, you have to trust me.
Check with Carol when she's gonna be there though, cause sometimes she's not there.
Yeah, I've been texting with her back and forth,
Oh,
she's
you-
actually been on it with me.
Yeah,
so
she's
Yeah,
sometimes
you-
there, sometimes not,
Yeah.
so.
And it's very interesting, cause I think what has happened is with the apps, it's like, oh, here's the app, just put in all your
It's up
information,
to
but
me.
they need to literally be like, hey, oh, you're the person behind the app.
Yeah.
Okay, I've looked
Right.
you in the eye, I feel more comfortable, you're not judging me, you're not like, shh, you know, why not? Have that, hey, we're gonna have a 15-minute meeting with the lender, I want you to meet the lender, I want you to have a conversation with the lender.
Would you say it would be beneficial to even make a pre-meeting, like, PowerPoint presentation that they could look at as to like what to expect
From the lender,
from the lender, from the whole pre-approval process and stuff like that?
I would do that as part of the buyer console,
Okay.
like what you can expect from the lender, yes, I think that's a
Just
great idea.
Cause like I find that I give people the app and they never do anything with it, like
You
lots
ta-
of people.
Oh, you're talking about the search app?
No, I'm sorry, not our app, like a lender's app. And they don't, and I follow up with them,
Right.
have you done it? Oh, we're just not ready to do it, and,
Oh.
you know,
Yeah.
I think some of it is like, Shilin, mentioned, like they're not,
They need a face-to-face.
Yeah.
well, and they're
Absolutely.
not ready, like, they don't understand even what the process is gonna be for just this step.
Right.
So I'm wondering if like a PowerPoint presentation or,
I would rather, because here's the thing, for me personally, the way I run my business, I would not do a PowerPoint alone, because
Mhm.
it's not my job. If somebody, so even if I was dealing with like Kathy, who's the mainland for Keller Mortgage, I was like, great Kathy, we're gonna get on a Zoom call at 10 o'clock on Monday. Call my client, say, hey, come in the office. I want you to look Kathy face to face, like, can you do that? You know, let them know, like, as a first time buyer, some of the things they should probably know. Talk to Kathy ahead of time and be like, you know, I'm gonna bring in a first time buyer, just, I need you to waylay their fears, like have some conversations with them. Because this high tech, people get scared
Yeah.
in the background and they're not getting the nurturing face to face. And the loan process is the scariest thing for most people. They are terrified.
That's where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, they're terrified. So it's like, that's what I would do. I go, look, I'm gonna take 15 minutes of your time. And the way I would word it would be, I wanna introduce you to the other part of the team, which is your lender, and I want you to meet the lender so that you feel more comfortable with the lender. Even if you're not ready to turn in your paperwork, I just want you to meet them face to face. So I'm gonna meet you at the office, how's 10 o'clock on Tuesday?
They already buy into why they need to find out what a pre-approval is, why they need to know that.
Like they understand the pre-approval and what it does,
Yeah,
and it
and
turns them into a cash buyer, they
Yeah.
understand that process?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think for a lot of people, it's just meet them there. Yeah, a little hand holding, especially first time, because they're,
I'm gonna do it.
they don't get it.
can you say that again, what you just said, about,
Oh, the team?
the other part of the team? Yeah.
Right, so I'd love to introduce you to Lender in person, because we're gonna be a team together, you and I have met or know each other, so let's create a relationship, let's meet there Tuesday at 10 o'clock, so she can answer any questions you might have.
And it's okay to go with my client to the lender. It's-
I think at that point, it's a
Absolutely.
necessity to go
Absolutely.
with them. The point is, we are going to meet the lender.
Yeah.
I'm taking you.
Got it.
I got you.
Well, we're not talking numbers, we're just, I'm introducing them, we're part.
You're not doing
leadership,
anything like that. Yeah,
So
it's not numbers, it's just
confidential,
a,
yeah.
it's just, this is the person behind that app. Like, apps are cold and lending is scary, so you're putting cold and scary in there, kinda like,
Okay.
right?
I know that this is maybe a more of a question for my lender, but like, a couple people, first time home buyers that I've been dealing with, they, just got a car loan, like less than a year
It's
ago.
a question for the lender.
Okay.
If it'll affect the loan, you need to
Okay.
ask the lender, that's the details you don't wanna get
Okay.
into.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Matthew, how'd the calls go?
Was it just right now or? the-
Tracking since yesterday's class, if you weren't here
I
yesterday.
was, yeah, unfortunately I wasn't here yesterday.
Okay, so Tuesday would be the last time you tracked. Correct. So since
So I've had 12 conversations.
Okay,
Speaking of meeting lenders, I got a referral from a lender that I've
excellent,
just met him, introduced myself, and so I got a lead
great,
off of the lender, so that's great.
yeah,
And,
so that's a referral.
excuse me, a referral, and then,
You had the terminology right, I just wanted to make sure we put it under the
Oh,
right
I'm sorry.
spot.
And then it's funny, I just was on the phone with a woman who was another lead that I got, and I used kind of Sarah's technique of, why don't we set up an appointment, I'll introduce you to a lender, and because you have a certain number in mind, but you could be qualified for 200,000 more or 100,000 less, so let's just make sure that we're
Yep,
not wasting your time or
Yeah.
we can find what you're looking for, and
perfect.
so anyways.
Yeah,
So that was good,
good
so I
start.
spent a lot of time just setting her up to
Cool.
go meet the lender,
So
but
two
I didn't think
referrals.
about meeting her with her.
Yeah, why not? 2 referrals, any appointments?
I'm gonna actually see if I can set an appointment and meet her,
Okay.
since you just said that, so, but no.
Awesome. Okay, so you see how it's consistency, right? Are you guys getting that it's consistency over time? So what did I tell you? If you leave Ignite after all this training and all the stuff that we've taught you, and you take one trick with you, what would that be to be successful? Keep doing this. That's literally all, I swear to you guys, it's the foundation of being a good realtor. That's it. If you leave and you absorb everything else and you don't make phone calls, you will not succeed. That's just the reality. We know that, right? But if you do make phone calls and you were not paying attention through any of the other parts, you're still going to be a successful agent. It's that simple. Good. All right, moving on. Okay. So we are, oops. So converting buyer leads. All right. Page, where are we? 10. Okay. Start on page 10. So finding buyers is simple. It's not hard to find buyers to work with. They visit open houses, look for properties online or through your KW app. Buyers are everywhere at all times, essentially raising their hands and saying, work with me. Number 2, servicing buyers is inexpensive. So buyers are more time consuming than costly. So when you first get in the business, you usually have more time than money, right? So that's why buyer focus ends up happening. Earning with buyers is quick. You put right in a great buyer transaction, you can help that person find a home and write an offer in one day. Working efficiently with buyers is your key to generating income quickly. I have put an escrow in 24 hours within meeting someone before. In fact, I've done it twice. So it happens. Converting your buyer lead to a signed buyer agreement is an important step in the process. Each step of the process requires you to build and cultivate the relationship. So we need to find the buyers, qualify the buyers, and sign the buyers. It's pretty simple. On page 11, on the NAR stats, so 88% of buyers purchase their home through a real estate agent. 40% of buyers found their agent through a referral from friends or family. 40%. That's a good number. 12% of buyers used an agent they had used in the past, and 9% of buyers found an agent visiting an open house. Do you know that the 12% of buyers used an agent they had used in the past, although 72% of people who have done transactions would use the agent that they had used before, only they usually don't remember the name, and that agent never stayed in touch. So that's why only 12% use, like, it's amazing. People just have to stay in touch, right? That's why we make the calls. All right, go ahead and turn yourselves to page 14. We're gonna do a little bit of market research. So you guys are in the information business. As you're prospecting for buyers, you will be asked questions about the market. You gotta be prepared. So notice, did Sarah seem prepared or unprepared?
Prepared.
Yeah, prepared. She, first of all, condos in Kihei is her niche, man. Like, that girl knows it backwards, forwards, upside, downside. Like, she's got it, she knows. And we're talking vacation rentals and long-term rentals, but condos are her niche, especially in Kihei. And she learned it, she got good at it. That being said, let me ask you a question. If you were looking for a house in Wailuku, would you still trust her? Because she knows, right? Because she's knowledgeable and she can learn these things quicker because her knowledge base is already so massive, right? You want somebody who's an expert, even if they're not an expert, because everybody that's new in the business always tries to do that. I want to know everything about real estate. Stop it. Become an expert in something, and then people will trust you to be an expert in what they need. That's how it works. All right, so what's available in my price range? Let me ask you this. Have you guys picked a niche yet? Okay, pick a niche. What's your niche? You're gonna focus on condos or houses? First question. What'd you say?
Houses.
Houses. Shannon. Houses. What's your niche?
On condos.
So I thought so.
I would do houses.
Condos.
Okay, what area?
Wailuku, EL Parkside is what I was thinking of targeting.
Perfect. Get to know EO Parkside, backwards, forwards, upside, downside.
I'm up country, so I would prefer doing something in my area.
Yeah.
I mean, between
Which part of
that,
the country are you going to be an expert of?
like from Makawao to Kula, that
Okay.
area.
Narrow it down more. Become an expert of something first that's
okay.
small. Like, not Makawao, like one like
area.
pick one, like Makawao. I'm gonna know houses in Makawao, what price range. I'm gonna know between this range and this range. And I'm gonna go and see all of them, and I'm gonna see what's for sale, and I'm gonna look at what's been sold in the last year and a half or 2 years, and I'm gonna become an expert in that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta pick one thing. And the deeper, the narrower you niche, the deeper you can niche, which means the more of an expert you can become, right? So I love that you said EL Parkside, like literally pick a complex and know it upside, backwards, forwards. Become an expert at EL Parkside. Then once you become an expert at EL Parkside, maybe you want to pick another complex out there and you're like, hey, I want to go to this one too, right? Bob, what are you an expert in?
Cove Park South.
Look, you hear that? Like that's a niche.
From Cove Park South. That's what
Yep, there you go. You know it. Cove Park South. That's my area. He's been in the business for 14 years. He's allowed to have a little bigger niche than you guys. Do you get that? Right? So when he started out, he probably learned sections of that. Correct? And now Cove Park South is that's where you're at.
One thing I was taught that might be of value to people that are new, if you order a 25-ounce steak in Texas, okay, you don't eat it in one bite. You cut it up and you eat it in little bites. Take one day and learn one complex. And by learning one complex, I mean allot one day to learn XYZ condo complex and go there and walk it.
Yep.
Go and introduce yourself to the front desk.
Yep.
Go and introduce yourself to the AOAO manager. Know who the groundskeeper is. I mean, that stuff will pay off for you like you will not believe. You just know one complex, and then the next day, go learn another one. And it won't take you long before you got them all. There's 15 condo complexes between Cam 1 and Cavapoo Beach. 15. 4 of them are on the side of on the ocean. 11 of them are on this side. Well, how long does that take you to learn those? I mean, think of it.
And what's the biggest complex in there?
Cumberland Sands.
Notice he knows, of course, because that's
440 units.
Yep. How many units are in Mount Banyan?
I'd have to look that up, but I think it's near 200 and something.
256, yeah. It's one of the only ones I know the number
Yeah.
is. It's Cam Sands. But you get it, like you know, you start to learn these details. And that's how you do it, right? So Hunter, what housing development? Where, first of all?
Ideally, I'd like to get into haiku, but maybe Makawao.
Okay. Well, why not haiku?
I would like to do that.
First of all, that's another thing. If you like a certain area or specific, go for that area,
Yeah.
right?
And the ag component of it, I guess, maybe, and
know all
just
that.
the open lots and land that.
Get to know about the land, get to know about the rules, get to know about all that stuff. Yeah. Shayla,
Yeah, Lahaina's in a road.
nice, perfect.
Yeah.
Get to
There's
know
a lot
it.
in there. It's very populated, but it is one of the key spots in Lahaina. It's old, but the families don't wanna be on there because the school district, the schools line up from the top to the bottom.
Yep.
No high school, middle school, and elementary, so it's the most convenient place in Lahaina to live. It's probably not the most affordable, believe it or not, because the homes I was looking at it last night, they're averaging from 8 to $1 million,
Yeah.
And, so in the community, it's a permanent neighborhood that I feel like could use some love for real estate, yeah. And there's some
Excellent.
old families in there that are ready to sell and go,
Yeah.
so let's help them.
Good for you.
My wife taught at Lahaina Intermediate for 9 years, and the road Lahaina Loon just goes
Yep.
straight up. And the elementary school is here, the intermediate school is here, and the
Yeah.
high school is there.
That's
As
my
you-
drop off.
As you go up.
That's me, I have one in every.
Oh, you do? At every one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you know.
Down, yeah.
Perfect. Cherish.
What Anthony Terrace and Heights?
There you go. Perfect. I like it. Matthew.
I missed the question, so
So
we're
what are you
actually.
niching in? Are you, I know you're a little bit different than doing stuff with Dean, so what's the area that you're really getting to know? What's
Definitely
your niche?
Kapalua is
Okay.
kind of my niche, because that's his kind of.
Homes or condos?
To be honest, right now I'd say more Kaanapali Villas and Kaanapali Ridge, because we have a couple
Perfect.
listings in there.
Perfect.
But we're also niching to a specific buyer in a price range, so it's not
Yes.
specifically to, an area.
So that's sort of your second level, right? Is first you know the actual physicality of the real estate area. Then you need to learn your buyer. Who is that buyer, right? What do they look like? And that's the second level, so yes, awesome. All right, so these are some great questions. What's available in my price range? I don't think I can afford to buy a house. I'm thinking about waiting until next year. Can you help me find investment properties? I can afford take that $1,500 and make it $2,500 per month for my living expenses. And I'd like to live in neighborhood of high price home that buyer cannot afford. How do you answer those questions? So think about that, because those are going to be common questions you're going to get, right? I don't think I can afford to buy a house. You hear that a lot. You hear that a lot. And I hear that from people who are paying $2,500 a month in rent. And I'm
I
like,
just had that conversation.
Yeah.
Like literally $2,500. She's like, I don't think I can, I don't know if I have the down payment, I don't know how the loans process works. You know,
yes.
I'm like, you can get an amazing house for $2,500.
Yeah.
Or condo. I mean.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, you may not be able to buy, you know, a 3-bedroom house in upcountry with land for $2,500 a month, but you can buy something for $2,500 a month. I mean, these rents that people are paying, you might as well buy something. So there are options out there. All right, I'm thinking about waiting until next year. You're gonna hear things like that.
What do you usually use for that? Because I get a lot of
waiting.
soon, we don't know when.
Okay.
You know,
My first question is if they're cash or they're doing financing. Because right now the interest rates are spectacular and I don't know what they're gonna be a year from now. So that's always a conversation to be having, because financing highly affects your viability. So when you've got interest rates that are low, that's when you want to take advantage of that. But you have to, my question is, what's the reason for waiting a year?
right.
Because I don't know that person. I mean, it could be if the conversation is, well, my son is moving here in a year and we need a bigger place. Okay, I get, right? Like, I can't affect that. But I want them informed. So always digging deeper. So that would be why. You know, what's the reason behind that? Can you help me find investment properties? What's the answer to that?
Yes.
Thank you. It's really easy, you guys. The answer is yes. And what do you ask next? What kind of investment are you looking for? Right? That's, I mean, yeah, dig deeper, start asking questions. What kind of, I want an investment property. What does that mean? Are you looking for a fix and flip? Are you looking for a hold? Are you looking for something you can just rent? Are you looking for a long-term rental? Are you looking for a short-term? Like, there's a million questions around that, right? So you gotta ask those questions. All right. Okay, couple terms on page 15. List price to sale price. What does that mean? Bob, no cheating, Bob. You know the answer to all these. You guys know what list price to sale price means?
Is that what
Yeah.
it's listed for versus what they're actually in it for?
What it actually sold for. That's it. So you got a percentage usually. Days on market. What does that mean?
How long it's been since the list date?
Correct. So it's list date. Is it list date to escrow date or list date to close date?
List date to close,
Yes, it is.
recordation.
Yeah, the clock keeps counting in Maui. So just an FYI. So that just plays in when you're doing stats and you're pulling days on market. Remember, your escrow time is included in your days on market, which is, you know, you got to account for that, right? 30 to 60 day escrow average. If you have a listing or somebody wants to list and they want to sell a property at a certain price and the average days on market is 80 in that area, how quick do we need to be in escrow? What'd you say?
About a couple weeks. Probably a month.
Yeah, I want to be in escrow within 30. If we're not getting offers in 30, we're priced too high. Because we need to be entering escrow. You take the average, right? 30, say 45. Say 40 days, right? So if it's 80, I need to be in escrow in 40 because you got to include that escrow. Make sense? All right. BINs has to do with IDX. So do you guys know what IDX is? So what's very cool is that you guys have IDX from like everywhere now on your website. Okay, so IDX is the feed from, like if you had a website that you set up and RAM was sending IDX, basically the way you can search on any website you can search is getting an IDX feed from an MLS so that you can search what's for sale. That's what it's called, an IDX feed. You guys have an IDX feed from all the MLSs. That's why your website is so awesome. Okay, moving on. Yes?
Is the IDX like the collab center?
No, IDX is It stands for Internet Data Exchange. So it's a way that data comes into this external site.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a back thing. All right, so market statistics, be the expert, professional real estate agents that your buyers can rely on by having local market statistics at your fingertips. Notice that those were in Sarah's presentation. She had the stats in her presentation, right? So she could say, okay, so you're looking for this, that's going for this price, right? She had all those stats. Did you guys notice that? Nice.
Where'd you get that from?
Escrow companies. Yeah, and she had the branded ones, which was really cool. All right. Your buyers will need your expertise in order to make an informed decision when it is time to make an offer and negotiate. Keep these statistics updated on a monthly, weekly, even daily basis. It's your job to know these numbers. All right, so list price to sale price ratios, right? So this can help buyers decide what to offer on a home, and they help you educate your buyers on how much they can reasonably expect to negotiate with the sellers on price. So if you're studying a complex, wouldn't it be great to know what the average list to sale price is, right? The complex I work on is 97.8% right now. I keep track of that. Like I'm looking at that info, Sparks, and getting that number constantly. I want to know what is the percentage, right? What can you expect? What's the list price to sale price for houses on Maui as a general rule? What's the list price to sale price in the area I'm working in, ER Parkside? You want to know that, right? So you would track that. What's it running right now? All right. Average days on market in different price ranges. So we talked about that. Number of homes on the market in different price ranges. Notice that's what Sarah did, right? So she pointed out, like you said, I think, Shayla, she was like 7, right? She let me know that number. That's all of them. We're in the multiple listings. That's it. That's your number. So that's good to know.
She
All
said
right.
it before she pulled it up.
She what?
She said it before she pulled it up.
Yeah.
She like knew it.
She already knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Price trends. So use local home values for the last 5 to 10 years to show how prices have fallen or risen over the last 10 years, and let your buyers know whether it is a buyer's or seller's market. How do you know the difference between a buyer or a seller's market?
Inventory.
Yes, it is based on inventory. How is it defined? So how do I know as a realtor what's the difference between the buyer's market and the seller's market? What's the standard we generally use to distinguish a buyer's market from the seller's market? Go ahead.
Absorption rate.
Yes, absorption rate. And the general flip point is 6 months. Okay, so what that means is, what he means by absorption rate is if you check, like how many are on the market and how quick are they selling, right? So what am I sitting? Am I sitting with 90 days of inventory? Am I sitting with the years of inventory? Higher pricing, you're gonna have higher levels because your absorption doesn't happen so fast. You get in your inexpensive entry-level condos, like your absorption rate is gonna be massive. I mean, you go to South Point, there's 1 on the market right now, and there's 3 in pending. Like, we need properties,
And you
right?
can calculate an absorption rate for a condo complex.
Yes.
Like if you wanted to be the expert in EL Parkside, you can calculate the absorption rate for EL Parkside. And if you show that to somebody, they're gonna go, wow, does this guy know his stuff?
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Really good to know. What is it? And what's it running right now? You know, some of these complexes, absorption rate's like 90 days. Sometimes it's 45 days. Sometimes it's like, it's insane because they're taking, like, you don't have enough. We need inventory,
Yep. Generally we do.
right? So that's the way you prove to people, we need inventory. I mean, if you're gonna market farm and say, hey, we need inventory, show them why you need inventory, right? So you gotta, here's the example.
It's
This
another-
many sold in 6 months. This many are pending. There's 1 listed. We got all these buyers that are gonna be coming in. We need this 6 months of inventory.
This is a great time to show if a seller's thinking about, oh gee, should I list my property right now? Well, do you wanna sell it? Now would be the time.
Yeah, now may be one of the best times to sell ever, yeah, or that we've been through in history. So yes, so that's something to know, right? Like how long can it sustain the way it is? All right. Local information for you, like Shaylin, you were talking about, that's great to know. Depending on, you got to think about what you're doing. Like who's your buyer, right? Do they care, what local information do they care about? Like if I'm focusing on vacation rentals in Kihei, They don't care about the school district, but they care what beaches are across from what, right? So you have to know what's my market knowledge have to look like. So that's local info. All right, so you guys are gonna do a little researching of stats. All right, so let's break into groups. Why don't you four just get together, you three in the back work together. And what I want you to do is, you can use whatever local market you guys decide on, but we are gonna find out the average sale price, the average days on market, list price to sale price, and total number of listings. Again, I want your market to be small, so you can pick an area. You need to pick either a home or homes or condos. You can do, if you're going to pick an area like Kia, it needs to be either vacation rental or long-term, like let's get a little clear, okay? So you four decide on what you're gonna look. You got a ringer with Bob, he knows how to find this. And then you three pick what area you're gonna look for, and then get me these answers. And you guys have 15 minutes, but I'm gonna let you pick the local market that you wanna choose, so you guys can start getting into
I
that.
wanted to show you a couple of tricks.
Okay.
Where do you guys want to
Right
go?
now, right now.
I just put in Wailuku Heights. I just was curious.
You know, homes in there sell out about every 2 years. Buyers just really,
That's on Twitter.
yeah.
I'm renting it now.
What are you guys working on right
it's-
now?
I mean, but for the purpose of this exercise, you might want to pick something that has a little more turnover, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Choose a buyer.
EO Parkside.
That way
Okay.
you can,
I think we're at 10.
It's, okay, DL Parks, all right, so you know how to work the Maui MLS? Oh, Andre, you're here with us, okay.
I don't know what I did, but I changed it and it's already.
Okay, do you know how to make the MLS
Okay.
move?
we said whoever has an active
Right.
buyer, let's do
Search.
it where you're at now.
Perfect.
We can do,
I know.
we can do it.
There you go.
Active.
All the status, right?
Okay, here's where you determine whether you want active or pending or solds or whatever, so we're gonna go active, okay? And you're gonna say EL Parkside.
Subdivision? Wanna do what inventory?
Yeah, you can do it.
The EL Gardens, EL Parkside, so active at EL Parkside, there's 2. Okay, so now you click on search. Now what's really cool about this, these are the 2 that are there. So you click that to hold those 2, and then you export it to CSV. And then you click export and it'll open up your Excel. And all that data is right there in your Excel screen. So now I'm gonna insert a line and I'm gonna say, for sale. Got it? Now I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna go back to the Maui MLS and I'm gonna go pendings. Change active to pending. There's 3 pending. Click on search, export it. Export it.
So if you hit
There we go.
status.
And there they are. Okay, so I'm gonna take these 3 and I'm gonna cut it.
One active? Wow.
I'm gonna go back to my other spreadsheet. And I'm gonna paste it right there.
So,
And I'm gonna say
I
pending.
think that, what's that on time? I haven't seen it. So the average sales price was on.
See what I just, see how I did that?
Oh, sorry.
Now let's do solds.
Okay.
Same
Yeah,
place.
there you
Okay,
So.
so now we'll go back here, criteria.
Yeah. So
Now I'm gonna change pending
So
to
local market user.
sold.
Okay, average
Boom.
sales price?
Now, you better say how, within what period of time, because look, there's 652 that have sold. Well, it really doesn't matter what sold there in 1992. What matters is what sold there in the last
6 months?
possibly year, possibly, okay?
Average days on the
So,
market?
usually 6 months. So you wanna go closing date.
Yep.
Okay, so closing date, let's
So
go
there's still, like she
We're
was saying,
right now
that's a 30 to 60.
January
closing date
24th, so
versus
let's go back
2
by
months,
month.
which is-
Let's go to,
Yeah, I mean, cause she was saying if it's a buyer's market or seller's
there's
market.
been 22 that have sold since
6
July
months
1st.
or
Whoops.
more of inventory.
What just happened?
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then it's
I ordered a new
So
battery.
that's kind of a turning point.
And my,
Seller's market. Buyer's market.
battery hasn't shown up yet, so I've gotta plug this in quick.
Price to sell price.
And then what we're gonna do when we get the solds is we're gonna sort them by 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedroom, because
Oh, that's
the prices are gonna be different.
So
So they're outlet.
it's only.
And I'll show you how quick this is. So,
On that.
if
was.
really helps me to get good at
That's
Excel.
pretty tight. Remember she was saying her condo complex was getting 97.8% of what it was. So if it was for 100,000, the average price they're getting is 97,800,
Yeah, let me do the math right now.
which is really high.
And then we'll
Like,
insert a
in
column,
California, like,
because you're gonna have original
I'd look for
price,
like
you're gonna have
40%
L
off
price,
list price before
and I relabel that, and I call it last price.
Wow.
And then your sold
And then
price, and
now
I'm gonna
here,
move that sold
I
price
got it.
column over right next to the last price, so a person can look at it, and they can go, okay, it originally came on the market for $6.99, and they dropped it to $6.25, and it sold for $5.99. And I'm gonna insert another column that is sales price to last price, and that's where you get your percentage, and then you average your percentage down at the bottom, and that'll tell you, okay, they're going for 94.2% of what they're listed for.
Excel will do the math for
Yeah,
you too.
yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, these are sold.
If
Yeah,
you
'cause I'm not good at
yeah,
math.
you can-
What's active?
If you
right?
can get good at Excel,
Excel.
it will really
One's
help
active
you an
now,
awful
those
lot.
subdivisions.
Okay, so now, all right, let's do, now we did the
Oh,
solds,
that's what
right, so
everyone
here's
wants to be.
So I mean, it's
solds since
100,
July
think about it,
1st,
if you do the
search.
math, the average
Okay.
sale amount is
Now,
740.
there they
so
are.
you're getting
Now I'm gonna export
almost
those,
25% discount off the average home price of the Maui, so that makes
and
sense.
there they are. So I'm
You
gonna
see how
grab
it came
all
up?
those,
That's in the past 6
Because it wasn't at 607, was that?
that's since July 1st,
Yeah.
got it?
And then right now, 7.
So it's active,
740
baby,
is the average home price.
and we'll paste it right there, and we're gonna say sold since
Now, where we live, it's higher. It's like
July 1.
So,
Here, okay, now,
does all that make sense?
I'm gonna adjust the width of all
They make
this.
that so easy. I've never even done all
A
this.
couple of things you
So
don't need.
easy, yeah.
You don't need the complex name, because it's all the L Park site, you don't need
And
the.
you sound so smart when you're talking to your
whether it's
buyers, and it
leasehold
took
or
you like
feasible, because
2
they're all
minutes.
feasible. You don't need the TMK, you sure as hell don't
Or
want the
sellers when
agent,
you're on the list.
Yep.
because it ain't you.
So you've got average sale price, average days on market, list price to sale price, total number of listings.
Oh, this is so cool.
Okay, don't need the address, because you got the unit number, so you get rid of that. So now you got bed to bath, square footage, price per square foot, I find is usually just
So I
confuses
think
people.
if you saw
Because
in
they
there, I
think
think
that's the
that
same
the
thing
high
as
was
the
like
AOA,
8 something,
so
which
delete it, okay?
go right
You
here.
can, instead of deleting it, you
The
can just
highest
hide it
sold
if you
price
want
is
to.
89.
View.
So
Waterfront, no, it's all built in 93 to 95, so we don't need those either,
use
so
that as
days on the market.
confidence with it.
All the rest,
To justify
co-op,
like a-
client hit, agent, list
Or
date,
average
contract
is
date,
600.
don't need any of that
Justify
stuff, okay?
750
You
asking
need
price.
days on the market, whoops.
Especially with zero inventory. But again, if there's someone's trying to sell it within that 60 days or whatever, trying to adjust 30 days,
There we
getting
go.
an offer and then
Okay.
30 days escrow.
Contract date, closing date.
You know that if
Okay,
you're
we
at
want
650
contract
days,
date
you're
because
gonna
that's,
get offered quite a
that's
lot.
the appendix, so I'm gonna get rid of list date, delete it. Sold price, you definitely want that. You don't want any of this stuff, this is the agent that has it listed. Lanai, short sale. There we go, okay. Now look what we got. Look at how concise that is, okay? Oops. There we go. Okay, now let's delete some rows because they're just extra. Okay, now here's original price, L price. I'm gonna change that to, instead of list price, I'm gonna change it to last price, because that's the last price it was listed for. I'm gonna insert a column here, and I'm gonna copy the sold price and paste it right there. So now I've got, let's look, I've got my original price, my last price, and my sold price all right next to one another. These on the market, contract date, there it is. Closing date, we don't need that here, we don't need that here. Get rid of this column too. And so now I've got my for sale, my pending, my sold. Now let's put in the calculation sold price to last price, so I'm gonna insert a deal here. And I'm gonna say, okay, this equals that divided by that, which it as a percentage, and I want 2 decimal places. I know this is fast for you guys, and then I'm gonna drag that down there.
I
Now
know.
look at, you see what's happened here?
Are you trying to get the list to sale price?
Yep, just did. And
Okay.
now, and then I'm gonna average this, okay, so now I'm gonna average this. The average sold price to list price is 98.66% over the last 6 months.
Where are you using, what area?
EL Parkside.
That's my temperature too, actually.
Yeah, there.
I just took it today.
There.
Average percentage of list price EL Parkside.
Yep.
What'd you get?
98.66 since July 1st.
Okay, I got average right now for the last 3 years.
3 years.
Ranking the last 12 months at 98.9%. InfoSparks has all that data and you don't have to create that spreadsheet.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You guys wanna know about InfoSparks?
Yeah.
I got the old
Okay,
school way
give me an area.
I had no idea that was there.
Give me an area. What'd you guys do? Huh?
Wyoming Terrace.
Wyoming Terrace? Wyoming? Might be spelling it wrong.
Isn't that a thing for first time home
Okay,
buyers?
so everybody go to your, and I can't get it on here, I don't know why. So everybody go to your RAM sign in.
Yep.
Click on InfoSparks.
Ah, InfoSpark.
I'm gonna